Welcome back to another exciting episode of the F
Uh,
Files. Joined
Enigmatic.
once again, enigmatic episode. I'm joined once again by the most enigmatic man on the internet, on YouTube, Daniel of Arius and the
What's
Nation.
what's going on? Good to be
Wait,
here. Good to be back. Yes. You see that? Look at that. Look at that. You guys have no idea. Maybe we should release that as a short. Uh,
and that's the episode.
and that's the episode. No, no, that's where we pour our money into is these things for you guys. Um.
Right.
Anyway, good to be back. Always good. I'm ready to get into some of these stories. We have a lot planned for tonight. So yes,
We do have a lot planned. So
yes,
yeah, man. So today we will dive into the Bermuda Triangle.
good pun. And we might go missing.
Maybe,
Ah, ah.
hopefully, but it won't be because of choice.
No,
Definitely
that's
don't want to go
just
missing.
no. We don't. We don't. I'm usually just thinking about our train of thought that goes MIA. So
Right.
Bermuda
So
Triangle. I mean, it's probably one of the most infamous geometrical shape out there.
yeah, yeah,
I would say
uh,
so.
yeah, because there's no like Bermuda Circle.
Nope, nope, doesn't happen. Can't
Mm-mm.
happen in a circle. So, what is the Bermuda Triangle?
Well, I'm glad you asked because the Bermuda Triangle, also known as the Devil's Triangle, is one of the most mysterious places on this planet, located off the southeastern coast of the U.S. in the Atlantic Ocean between Bermuda, Florida, and Puerto Rico. It has
Oh
become
yeah,
it has become the center of unresolved or unsolved mysteries. The Bermuda Triangle covers 440,000 miles of sea and is part of a busy shipping route. Several vessels pass through the region every day to reach America, Europe, and the Caribbean. Over centuries, many ships and planes have mysteriously disappeared in the region. The Devil's Triangle has also been blamed for the disappearance of thousands of people. A man named Vincent first used the term Bermuda Triangle in 1964 in an article published in Argosy magazine,
sure.
Argosy,
Hmm.
maybe.
Huh.
I don't know. Maybe
All right.
someone else knows what it is. Yep.
All right. So, so this thing is just eating up. I mean, it's kind of always been alluring, right? I would say, is the Bermuda Triangle like technically not deep water? I know that sounds ridiculous,
No, I
but
think some parts of it
some
are.
parts of it are.
Yeah.
Because it swallows up it has swallowed up tons of ships, like big ships, not like little tiny cigarette boats,
Right.
like big effing ships.
It's done. Yeah, I mean, little boats to big boats and planes, and everybody goes flying through there. They don't come back
Now,
somehow, some way. I mean, and actually nowadays, I don't understand how a plane or a ship can really go missing.
well, well, we found out the MH, what is it, Malaysian Airlines, the flight that never
Malaysian,
landed,
yeah,
that found a wormhole.
yeah,
That never landed, still up there,
somewhere.
um somewhere. So but you're right though, because like I I feel like if your instruments are going haywire on like the dash, granted, obviously everyone, I am no pilot, as you can see. Like I am no pilot.
You are
Um
the pilot of your
I
of your own aircraft
yeah,
there in your
yeah,
office.
yeah, 100%. But if they started going crazy, and I know the biggest thing, the theory is like you lose the what is it, the pitch or something goes crazy, and you don't know where you're flying into, and you end up just smacking down into the ocean. Is
Isn't
that
isn't it that uh so like compasses and things of that nature are based off the magnetic field of the earth.
yeah,
So you're flying north, and you get into certain spots of the triangle, and the magnetic force or the magnetic whatever's in there um, just throws everything off. And instead of it telling you you're going north, now it's telling you you're going east. And then you try to right your plane or your ship to go north, and then you somehow end up going west or some shit like that.
Oh, so your compass is off as well. I mean, that makes sense. Your compass
Your
is off.
compass is off, and I think a lot of instruments that are used with the Earth magnetic force gets
Jacked up.
all yeah.
Well, that makes sense because I think about it. Like, if you're, let's say, you're flying into Florida from, let's pick a country, Africa, for some nonstop, right? Let's say, and you have to fly over this. You're probably on E, and you can't really afford to like circle around. So what if they use all their fuel
Mm-hmm.
in this? How many square miles is that? Absolutely. It doesn't look that big, but it's massive. It's
It's crazy. No,
absolutely
it's crazy.
massive.
So, but I do wonder, like planes or ships that are there. Do they have to? Are they able to, like, when they're flying, or when they're in the ships? Do they is are there routes specifically designed to go to avoid that area, or do some of them actually have to go through that triangle to get to where they got to go?
I wonder. Yeah, that's a good question. Like if it's a daily commuter kind of thing. Well, I mean, you already said in the beginning that a lot of shipping, a lot of ships go through it anyway every day. Um,
Yeah.
but planes, I don't know, man, because I feel like, okay, look, what happens? Your plane gets its magnets and compasses and all that shit out of whack, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens to a plane is it crashes. It either lands or crashes, right? Um, and I'm pretty sure that's solid science right there. So, like, but a ship, if it's lost, it'll still continue floating. It's not
Mm-hmm.
like it
Yep.
crashes. It still continues to float. So it's interesting that I wonder if a majority of these disappearances happened in storms. I feel like there has to be a correlation between like big ocean storms and like a
Mm-hmm.
bright sunny day. Like I feel like it'd be different. I don't
It
know.
could be.
I feel like a
Okay.
storm makes sense.
So when I look at a picture of the Bermuda Triangle, um, so Bermuda is an island. Okay, it's one little island.
Mhm.
Um, you have how can I make it? So you have like Florida's over here, right?
Yeah.
Florida's out here, and I
Let me
guess
see if
like
I can.
yeah, pull up a picture of it, if you can.
Let me see if I can. Here we go. All right. All right. Every time I share the screen, guys, it gets kind of wacky. So bear with the lag and stuff. All right. Stand by. What is that? I have a lot of. There you go. There you go.
Because I was looking at a picture of it, and okay, so where the top of the triangle where
Hmm.
Bermuda is, right? So you got that,
Yeah.
and then it goes all the way down to Florida. They go, I guess, like down by Miami, which
Yep.
goes all the way down to Puerto Rico and back
Yep.
to Bermuda. So that whole area, I would assume Bermuda and all the islands between Miami and Puerto Rico need supplies. So ships and planes would have to go through there.
Yeah. There's there.
That
Yeah. 100%.
and that's
I
the equator. The equator goes right through there as well.
Bro, Bermuda's right there. Are you?
Yeah, it's
I
what it
thought
looks like
Bermuda
from
was
another.
up down here near like Florida. The fuck is Bermuda doing out there acting like Atlantis?
Yeah, Bermuda's all the way at the top,
That makes no sense. Bermuda shares.
and it's all by itself.
Bermuda shares a line with, what is that, Georgia and South Carolina?
Hmm.
I did not
Yeah,
know
isn't
that.
that crazy? I didn't know either. That's
I didn't
crazy.
know
I thought
that.
it was further south, like
I
down in
thought
the
we were
Caribbean
talking
more.
about like right here. I thought we were talking about Bermuda's like one of these fucking things.
Yeah, no,
No, okay.
I really didn't. I actually thought it was. I thought Bermuda was further down, closer to Cuba,
What the shit?
like in the Caribbean. But yeah. So that's crazy, man.
That's annoying.
So so ships and planes would have to go through. And you know what though? There's a lot of hurricanes that go through there.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
There's a
I'm
lot of them.
I'm I'm wondering what the correlation is between uh hurricane storms and planes and ships that have gone missing. You know,
Hmm.
and I feel like doesn't the aren't all right. I think we're gonna dive into a different kind of sort of topic here. Okay, so when you get around the Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands, like, you know what? No, never mind. I'm not even going to say that. Okay, what about these rogue waves? You think those exist in the Bermuda Triangle since magnetism is all out of whack?
Oh,
Do you
definitely,
think that? Do you think that would
definitely.
happen? You know, like you've heard those, like the rogue waves that exist that are like
Yeah,
fucking like
it's weird
hundreds
because
of
like
feet high.
well, yeah, because like the wave is coming in, one way. This rogue wave comes in a whole different direction and literally just throws the boat over.
Yeah, it like capsizes
Or
like
it can,
shipping
yeah.
shipping vessels and shit like that, like massive waves. So
Yeah.
I wonder if that happens. Like, here's the thing: we never know. We don't know, right? Because the ships that go missing, no one comes back. It's
Right,
either you
yeah, yeah.
make it or you absolutely don't. It's not like, oh, my plane just went through some weird wormhole and I'm here. Did you hear about the guy? I think it was a father and son. They were flying their plane into like a storm, right? And their arrival time to Florida, they shaved off what, like 30 minutes. Like, they went into the storm and they got there like 30 minutes faster than they ever would have. Like,
Really.
yeah, something happened. That they're saying something happened. I mean, granted, air is weird and it could have helped and whatever, but I'm just saying,
Did
like,
they
that's significant.
so did they lose time,
No, they made up
or
time.
so they went ahead? They went faster.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They're like going Mach speed for a second. Like, phew, they go plaid for a brief, quick blink.
What?
But yeah, man. No, it's just a regular. It was a regular one of those, Pablo Escobar planes. Like the little Cessnas, what they call them.
Mhm.
They just they sped up. Their arrival time was. I feel like it could have been 30 minutes. I don't know. I might be exaggerating, but I'm not going to waste anyone's time looking it up. Um, but yeah, man, it's definitely a weird area that I feel like everyone kind of knows about the Bermuda Triangle in lore. It's not just a United States issue. It's obviously this whole area that this triangle covers. Like, there's always weird
Mhm.
stories, and weird things happening.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, I
You know
mean,
what?
there's so many stories about it.
Like, it
So
probably
many
ranges
stories.
anywhere from like fucking like Atlantis to who knows? Who knows?
Mhm.
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I've heard Atlantis thrown out there a couple times in the Bermuda Triangle. I don't think that, but then again, I don't know that. They recently had that what was it? That it was recent. And I think I told you about that road thing that they found. There's
Oh,
always
yeah,
some
right.
weird shit. There's always some weird shit out there linked
So
to the Bermuda Triangle.
so do you think that maybe the Bermuda Triangle is Atlantis's defense mechanism
For the longest time,
to keep people away,
possibly.
or to
It would I
stop
mean,
people
it
from
would
talking to finding it?
I, why not? Like, why not? I mean, it's probably they could probably scientifically break that down between the magnetism and all this other shit and instruments, and I just don't see how a pilot like crashes into the ocean on a clear day.
Well, don't they
Because
say sometimes when they're flying that even on a clear day, all of a sudden fog. I've heard stories of that where the fog all of a sudden just rolls in. Like it's a clear day. There's the weather is like nothing's going to happen all day. No, not even a. It's not going to be cloudy at all. It's a beautiful day. They go flying. Next thing you know, the fog rolls in. They don't know where they're going. Next thing they go right into the fucking water.
yeah, and see,
Crazy.
that's the thing. I
And then it
don't I
clears
don't
up.
understand it. Yeah, I don't understand it because that blows my mind. Because I'm thinking like, okay, you have a feeling of what the altitude feels like. I'm assuming in a plane. I know that
Hmm.
sounds kind of stupid, but I'm like, if I'm here and I don't go here or here, the plane should kind of relatively stay in the same 1,000 feet. Possibly. I'm no pilot. I'm not sure.
Well, okay, so this another thing too is as they say again with the magnetic field force of the Earth that their instruments go haywire. Not just their compasses, but then they have an instrument that tells them their altitude, and then
Yeah.
they're sitting there saying, "Okay, you're too high. You need to come down." And for whatever
Yeah.
reason, they're like, "Oh man, I'm 50,000 feet in the air. I don't need to be up that high." And they come down, and next thing
And it's to
instead
hit
of
the
being that
water.
high, yeah, they're just going right into the water. Of
Well,
course, they're
that's
not like nose diving, but they are
but
slowly
but
coming down, and like, oh shit.
my okay, hear me out though. Like if I'm flying to a place where I know that the magnetic fields are kind of acting a little janky, I'm keeping that
Hmm.
shit. I'm not paying attention because I know there's no skyscrapers. I know there's no effing mountains. Like, what's the damage that could be done if I just maintain? Because I'm
Hmm.
either gonna see Florida or I'm gonna be over Texas. Like if I keep going,
But
right?
see,
I
another
just
thing too, like I said, their compasses are all messed up. So some people even try to say they'll try to reverse and go back. But if you don't know where north or whatever direction Florida is, how are you going to get back there?
well,
You know what I
I'm
mean?
I'm thinking like if I'm leaving the Bahamas or Bermuda, flying to Florida, right? If I'm leaving Bermuda, flying to Miami, we're kind of skirting the line there on the back end of the triangle. But let's say I have to
Yeah.
fly through this thing, right? I feel like if I don't move shit, now I could be wrong. If I don't move shit, right? I
Hmm.
should be I know the time. I know the time I should get there. I know the speed. If I don't have to pay attention to like the altitude or the altimeter, the thing that shows you the horizon, and I know that I'm
Hmm.
good, maybe I
Right.
can make it to Florida. You know, maybe. But then again, you know
So
how it's
so
like
put it
all
like this:
magnetism.
you're you're
Hmm.
you're on a yeah. So you're on a
No,
straight
I was
line. You're
just
driving your
yeah,
car.
huh?
You periodically have to straighten up, right? So I'm sure it's
Yeah.
like the same thing in a plane. If you don't have your instruments telling you you're heading in the right direction, and you even if you try to stay as straight as possible, eventually you are going to start to curve off to one side
Well,
if
yeah,
you
I
don't hit the
I
water
I
first.
I feel that 100%. Like I get that. I get that. But at the same time, I'm just like that margin of not seeing any land is very slim.
Yeah.
Like if you stay the course, you're either going to hit the middle of Florida, the tip of Florida, the Bahamas, or even Cuba. Like, and if you're that high up in the air, and you're in the middle of between the Keys and Cuba, you could probably see them both from your altitude. You're like, all
I
right,
mean,
where am I?
that's relatively that's something that you would think, right? And I mean, I can't. I've never. I don't. I fucking hate flying. I don't like to get up there. So I would assume that a pilot would say, "Yeah, I mean, keep it this way." But again,
Yeah,
I've never been in that position to say no or like, yeah, that's possible. I mean, who knows? Who knows? I don't
or
want to
what
get up
if
there and find out.
no? Or what if the magnetism draws them in, like draws the plane fucking down? Like,
Maybe it does.
what if there's like an energy pulse and it just grabs them and just starts bringing them down?
Like Magneto.
Yeah, like fucking Magneto, like Magneto, dude. Who knows, man? The
I mean,
secrets
it
this
could
thing
be,
holds
dude.
is
So
nuts.
there's different theories. Yeah, like Magneto. But there's
Yeah.
different theories um about like what happens and stuff like that, right?
Hmm.
So one of the theories is their theory became famous after a pilot named Bruce Gurnon was flying from Andros to Bimini Island. Bimini Island. There's a connection
Yeah.
there, right?
Interesting.
Huh. Bahamas. When he encountered a cloud that led to a tunnel. He flew into it, and when he came out, he was several hundred miles off course. He claimed that he could not have traveled that much distance in such a short time. That's one of those things. How, how did that happen? You know,
Well,
a
don't
pilot
fly
that's
into
been doing this
fucking
for a long
tunnels.
time, all of a sudden, I mean, it's one of those
Avoid
things
the
like you
tunnel.
can't help. Like you're in the air, but what if that
Oh
throws
well,
you
look,
off
there's a
more?
tunnel.
It gets worse.
100 miles.
Um,
That's crazy,
so
dude.
another one, is, yeah, several several hundred miles off
Several
course.
hundred. Yeah, no, that's nuts.
Right. Yeah.
That's
And
nuts.
how he survived, I don't know. So there's also a theory of a widely accepted theory about the Bermuda Triangle is the existence of methane pockets. When released during seismic occurrences, these pockets release massive methane gas into the waters, decreasing its density. Like we discussed before, we were talking about this before we went on, which destabilizes the ships. However, methane has no single theory. What? Uh, so um, So no single theory could offer a concrete explanation. Many still believe there is nothing strange with the region, as most incidents uh, were inaccurately reported or fictionalized versions of accidents.
Well, I mean, hear me out on this. I feel like okay, it could be fictional, but if there's some shit that goes weird, it's usually in this area. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if there's something that goes weird, it's usually in this triangle. So it's like, you could say do a lot of planes and ships make it through? Yes. But when they don't, they usually don't for a very weird abstract reason. And there's usually no survivors and no trace of the ship. I think the ships are a little bit harder. Or the ships are a little bit, I guess I would say, easier to find than a plane. That's my personal belief. I feel like people could track a boat easier than a plane, but especially one of
Well,
the
what's
small
weird is
ones.
it's weird because when you talk about a plane, a lot of times they talk about the oil that leaks out from planes when they are and do hit water. A lot of the
Mhm.
planes in the Bermuda Triangle, they don't ever find anything.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know,
You
man.
know,
But
and
yeah, man.
it's what is it? They that believe um that there's nothing strange about that area. Like if there's like it's normal.
Yeah, no, that's
Like
not
people are
normal.
just making it up.
That's not a.
They're
I,
either making it up or they're just saying more than it is. Oh yeah, the plane crashed.
I,
It wasn't the Bermuda Triangle. They ran out of gas. That's it. You know.
well, did they run out of gas because they were several hundred miles off course because they flew through a fucking wormhole? You know, like that's the shit. That's the shit. I wonder if there's like some like
Right, right,
secret
right.
island somewhere where there's just tons of lost ships and planes on like a beach somewhere. It's just like fucking floating around. I gotta know.
Well,
I gotta know.
didn't didn't they say that what was her name? Amelia Earhart got stuck in the Bermuda Triangle and they never
Was it?
found her.
I thought it was in the. I thought it was in the. It was in the Pacific or the Atlantic. I totally. don't remember, but I remember her shit was found somewhere.
Yeah. What was it? The
Her shit
crabs
was
ate her
found
or something like that?
somewhere. Yeah, the crabs ate her.
The
Uh,
crab
Not crabs.
crab people.
Sorry, monsters. Monsters ate her. Absolute. You cannot call
Yeah,
that thing a crab.
she was on she was on Skull Island.
Yeah, pretty much, man. With the size of those fucking crabs, no, that is you cannot call that a
Oh
crab.
man.
I can handle a crab. I can't handle the pit bull of crabs, dude. That is the fucking I no.
The pit
That
bull
is
of crabs.
huge.
Dale.
Yeah, yeah, Mr. 305 of crabs. Oh man, but no man, guys, this is what do you guys think in the comments? What are your theories on the Bermuda Isosceles triangle? Let us know. Or is it a right triangle? I have no idea. It's
Yeah.
definitely it's definitely the wrong triangle.
I guess it depends on how you look at it, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's not the
But
right
no,
triangle. Oh
it's
man.
the wrong
Do
triangle.
you want to hear about a case of the Bermuda Triangle?
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
All right, real quick.
Case of the Bermuda Triangles.
So if you guys like this, put in the comments and we can yeah. So Mary Celeste, possibly one of the most mysterious stories of shipwrecks. The ship is a tale of its own, despite being found adrift in some other location in the Atlantic Ocean. Connection to the Bermuda Triangle to the mystery of its fate. Discovered on the 4th of December, 1872, with everything right except for the entire ship was found stranded in the sea days after starting its journey from New York to Italy. There were 7 crew members and Captain
What?
Benjamin Briggs, wife, and their 2-year-old daughter aboard the vessel, loaded with raw alcohol. But days later, a passing British ship found the Mary Celeste under partial in the Atlantic off the Azores Islands. The ship was unmanned with no crew aboard, and the lifeboat was all also missing. It was also found that 9 of the barrels of the cargo were empty and a sword was on the deck. No trace of the people aboard the vessel or the missing lifeboat has ever been found. Studies of the ship ruled out the possibility of a pirate attack since everything on this ship, including the barrels of alcohol it was transporting and the crew's valuable belongings, were intact. Theories surrounding the
Wow.
mystery of the Mary Celeste also included criminal conspiracy, alien abduction, and even an attack by a giant squid, which is a real thing. Probably not like in the
Yeah.
movies where the whole big arms come out and like wrap around the whole boat, but there is an Arcturus that does live in the ocean. It is fact. The possibility of a natural
Yeah.
disaster was also on the list. Many suggested the role of an undersea earthquake behind the accident, while few proposed an accidental foraying of the vessel into the Bermuda Triangle. However, However, as much as these speculations seem reasonable, they don't fit. After all, why would a perfectly skilled crew on a good weather day and their ship entirely uncompromised abandon it and then never service again?
Hmm.
Hello?
Interesting. Interesting.
Thoughts,
I
people? Thoughts? Come
Yeah,
on.
definitely something to ponder in the wee hours of the morning. But
Right.
you know, I feel like because you said there's pockets of methane, like
Mm-hmm.
you could probably asphyxiate pretty rapidly if one of those bubbles, let's say, released from the bottom of the ocean and
It just
bubbled
pops.
up, pops up right by your ship. You could probably
Mm-hmm.
asphyxiate pretty quickly. You don't really know what's happening. You probably hallucinate and you dip and you try to dip. You don't know what's happening, so you might think it's the ship and you just get out, and that's the last thing you want to do.
So right. So then, but that's another thing. It's like with this story anyway. The one of many. What about the lifeboat? If the lifeboat's missing, where'd they all go? If you
Well, it
found
didn't
the ship, where was the lifeboat? Where was the whole crew?
exactly. It didn't work. The lifeboat didn't work. Didn't live up to its name. Um,
It's a death boat.
it's a death boat. Uh, So that's one of my like fears, man. It's just something unexplained coming up from the ocean. That's why I stay away from the ocean.
Oh
I
my
give
God.
mad props to the ocean. I give it the respect it's due and stay on land whenever
There
possible.
is there is way too many unknown factors out there in the
Yeah,
ocean.
which is
Space,
wild.
space, yeah, there's a trillion. In the ocean, there's probably more than that. 'Cause we don't know anything about the ocean. We know
What what I,
nothing.
what I hear one day, it's like there's thousands of dead people in the ocean, and you still get into it. But if there's one dead person in your pool, you don't get into that. So
No, you'll never.
you obviously have a water to dead body ratio somewhere in the back of your mind where it's okay to jump in.
Right, right.
So
Jesus Christ.
yes. So on that
All
note,
right. On that note, thank you, Daniel, for putting that in our heads.
yes.
No,
Oh man.
no. Again, hey, if you guys like this, let us know in the comments, please, down below. Tell us what you think, what's your theories, if
Yes.
any, and if you'd like to hear more about this, also let us know.
Yep. Yep.
Who wouldn't want to hear more about this?
Defend your argument for the Bermuda Triangle
Yeah, the
vehemently.
Bermuda Triangle. Is it really a triangle? Change my mind.
Change my mind. Jesus. All right. Well, thanks for having me on, man.
Cool,
These are
man.
always
Thank
good.
you. Yeah. Remember, hey, smash. Hey, if you like what's going on, smash that like button.
What?
Hit the subscribe button. Comment, share, all that stuff. Do it.
Yes.
Do it now.
Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Well,
Do it.
well, it's time. It's time for our goodbye applause. So, would you please?
Please. Thank you.
Oh yes, applesauce, everyone. All
Applesauce,
right.
everybody.
All right.
Until next time. Peace.